What's up everybody, this is VanquishX and today I'm going to give you guys a review and a recap of Supergirl Season 2 Episode 1, which is a big one as Superman is finally coming into the show. He's finally going to be flying around and doing his thing and saving people with Supergirl instead of text messages, him saving her at one point, and his feet. His feet when he was unconscious in an episode. Yeah, that's what we got in Season 1, so it's great that he's finally going to be in full and flying around doing his thing, which is great. I'm really excited to see what else they do with Superman and just with Supergirl and the season in general, as I'm still very excited for it, even though all my complaints about Season 1. Season 1 took me a while to watch. I've told you guys this before, and I watched one episode and gave up maybe halfway. It's just the way they were doing certain things, especially the she's a girl elements, all that stuff, just shoving that down your face. That kind of irritated me, so I didn't watch it all. But as I was going to watch these episodes for Superman and then leave again, I thought that would be pretty shitty of me, and I wouldn't have a clue what the hell was going on. So I thought, might as well just watch the season, and I did. And by the end of it, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the characters involved. Really liked the way they were showing Supergirl off. The first few episodes were kind of like a testing phase, I think, to try to work out the kinks and all that. And after those first few episodes, I started really getting into it and really enjoying it, and I can't wait to see what else they do with Season 2. So let's just jump into this episode, and right off the bat, it starts where Season 1 ended, with the pod crashing into Earth and them going over to see what the hell it is. And they open it and see there's a guy lying there, there's a guy in it unconscious, and they automatically think he is a Kryptonian, as he came in like the same shape of ship that Kara did, and a needle won't break his skin like Superman's and hers, so they automatically think he's a Kryptonian, but they also push it to the side a bit to try and keep an open mind, to try and figure out who in the hell this guy is. And throughout the episode we get little sneak peeks, little snippets of who he might be, and to find out his ship went through a star system where time doesn't move, which is why he's still as young as he is, which is similar to what Kara did, which he went through in the Phantom Zone. She didn't age because time doesn't work the same there, and people are saying this is Mon-El. It's been confirmed that it's Mon-El and like news and all that on the internet, but we haven't fully heard that. I haven't said it in this episode yet, so more down the line over episodes they'll figure out who he is and call him Mon-El and all that stuff. And then we jump over to our first introduction of Superman. We've seen this rocket test going on with passengers and all that. They're going to take them out of the atmosphere, fly around and all that and come back, but when that takes off and breaks the atmosphere, an engine explodes like it was always going to happen, and it starts to plummet back to Earth. And this is when we see Clark Kent at a newsstand getting newspapers, talking to his boss, saying, I'll get an article to you tomorrow, fumbling on his words, just feeling like Clark Kent, using phrases no one uses ever, like lickety split and all that stuff. He just feels like Clark Kent, and he sees this report, he hears it and all that, and they say like, we hope where he is, he hears this, and he does, and he runs down an alley, does the classic open his shirt to show the Superman symbol and flies off to save the rocket. And Supergirl at the same time does the same thing, jumps out of her apartment and flies to it, and they both get there at the same time and save the rocket together. And this is when we get a sense of their chemistry, which is amazing that they have this much, even though they probably didn't know each other until they started filming this show. Melissa Benoist and Tyler Hoechlin are just back and forth with each other. They feel like they've known each other for years, and you can somehow feel cousinly love that these characters should have. Cousins are your first friends. They're your friends from the day you're born until you die, unless some bad shit happens between you two. But most of the time, they're your first friends and all that, and we can feel that with these two, even though they would not have known each other when we started filming this show. It feels like they've known each other for years, and that they're actual family, which I love, as these characters are iconic, love each other, they help each other, so feeling that between two actors is amazing. I was so happy to see that, and so happy to finally see them interacting instead of seeing him message her and all that. Just actually seeing them save something together, have the back and forth, feel like they're family and stuff. I loved seeing that. I can't wait to see more of it. And I think they did Superman perfectly right off the bat in that little section. The Clark Kent segment felt like classic Clark Kent. The fumbling, mumbling on his words, saying phrases no one ever says, and just trying to get along on his phone and trying to hide the fact that he's Superman. That felt perfect. And the little snippet of him being Superman with him running down the alley, opening his shirt and flying off and saving something, and just the back and forth and the banter he had with Supergirl. He feels like Superman. I know this might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like he absolutely shits on the movie version. Now, I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like him. I think he's a great actor for the role and all that. But the Superman they've given him, the Superman they've gave him to act as, just isn't Superman. Down in the dumps, mopey, losing hope and everything. That's not Superman. Superman Superman always holds on to hope, thinks everyone has good inside them and all that. Yeah, that's what Tyler Hoechlin gave me. I think they've done him perfectly in that little snippet, and I can't wait to see more of him. Next up, we see Clark and Kara go to Lena Luthor. She was meant to be in that rocket, but she wasn't there when people came to get all the passengers out after Superman and Supergirl saved it. Now, Lena Luthor is Lex Luthor's sister, and you can feel the tension between her and Clark, as the name Luthor has a lot of bad shit surrounding it, with the way Lex Luthor terrorized Metropolis trying to kill Superman with his agenda, stop the alien from saving everybody. So you can feel the tension just by the mention of Luthor between them two, as it's just a bunch of shit surrounding her name. And of course, with her being a Luthor, Superman or Clark thinks she's up to something, thinks she might have something to do with the rocket explosion and all that stuff. Just typical Clark and Luthor kind of stuff. And of course she says she never had anything to do with it, and we hear she's trying to revamp the company, call it L Corps instead of Luthor Corps, to try and get away from that name and what it represents. And you can kind of believe her and feel what she's saying is the truth, but there's also a sinister side to her, and you kind of don't want to believe her, and you think she may be up to something. I think she is. I think later on in the series something will happen and she'll be behind it. And just the way the actress who plays her, I can't remember her name, but she does a great job portraying the sinisterness, the evilness and all that, because the way she has her facial expressions and the way she acts and talks and all that during the scene makes you think she might be up to something, even though she's saying she's not. I really like that scene. I like the back and forth between Lena and Clark, and just the tension you could feel with Luthor just coming up and Clark just going, okay, she must be up to something if she has Luthor in her name. And that's quite sad as well for Lena if she's trying to have a new start, a new beginning, showing that she's not just Luthor. But at the same time, I feel like she might be up to something just with the way the actress played her off. And later on in the episode, we find out that somebody is trying to kill her. This guy is getting like military style drones, and Lena Luthor is going into a helicopter. She's going to a meeting or a renaming ceremony from the company. I mean, she gets in the helicopter and the drones swarm the thing, and Supergirl and Superman show up and defend it. And Superman flies off to get other drones which have just went off to attack random people just to try and stop them protecting the helicopter. So he's off doing that. Supergirl's destroying the other drones and just tells Lena that someone is trying to kill her. And you can see the panic in Lena's face, and that kind of lays off the fact that she might be doing something if she's physically scared for her life. And lastly, kind of later on, we see her at the renaming ceremony for L Corps. She's doing a big speech and all that. And of course, something goes wrong. Stuff starts blowing up. Her building gets attacked and starts to collapse. And Superman and Supergirl are holding it up. And a beam's being split, like a big column, which is like a weak point, has been cut in half. And Supergirl puts steel beams on that, laser visions them, and sets the building. It stays there. And in the confusion and all the terror and people running around and trying to find Lena so she doesn't get killed, she kills the hitman. She takes out a gun and just shoots him twice, so he's lying there dying, and she's fine, she's saved. She kind of saved herself from Lex Luthor's crony trying to kill her, as he can still get his contacts in prison, even though he's serving 3 life sentences. So I'm thinking he's probably trying to get rid of her, try to kill her, so if he breaks out of prison, which he probably will, as it's Lex Luthor, he can just swoop in and take the company back. I think that's kind of what he's planning. And after all that, we go back to the DEO, where stuff's kind of settled down. They're all kind of still, oh god, Superman helped out and all that kind of stuff, and the back and forth between cousins, her going, oh, he's sad that I got full billing on that, I got all the credit, like just digging him and all that stuff. And we learn that he's going to stay for a while, which just means the next episode. I hope he comes back for more. I hope he's not just in this one and episode 2 and then leaves for the season. I hope he's in more, as he did a great job as Superman. I think he did a perfect job. He just does everything the movies don't do for me. He gave me Superman in one episode, which is great. It's a great feeling to have him fully like he's meant to be on the screen, even though it's TV, which hasn't happened for years. He's on the small screen again, which is great to see, and I can't wait to see more of Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, as he did the perfect job. He is perfect as him right now on Supergirl. And during the episode, we learned a bit about a bit of bad blood between Johns and Superman, you know, Martian Manhunter, as he keeps kryptonite in the DEO, and Superman says, yeah, it could kill me, kill Kara and all that, but Johns keeps it there because he's not the only Kryptonian out there, as we saw last season where a bunch of them attacked the city and kryptonite helped them take them down. So that's kind of why they don't fully like each other, as he's got kryptonite and he won't help them out until they get rid of it. So that's quite interesting to see, even on their teammates in the Justice League and all that. So it's quite an interesting take to have them kind of be enemies, bit of bad blood, and not really trusting each other. And I just like what they did with the whole episode with Supergirl, Superman, all the other characters, just the way they portrayed it all, Lena Luthor, and the way she might be up to something but sounds like she isn't, and all that stuff. I just loved this episode. I thought it was a great opener, and the real kicker right at the very end, you know the little snippet bit they always do at the end of the CW shows, we see the hitman guy hooked up in some facility with pipes going into him, tubes, syringes, needles and all that kind of stuff. A ventilator, he's hooked up to the max because he's dying, and this woman demon comes up and says, I'll hit this red button and you'll die and the pain will stop, or I'll hit the green button and you can live. And of course he picks the green button, and when she clicks that, she says, welcome to Cadmus Labs, long live Metallo, and his skin starts changing, his eyes go weird. So they have made him into Metallo. He's in Cadmus Labs, and he's going to show up in episode 2, I think, and fight Superman. Metallo's getting used. Yeah, it's cool to see him somewhere on the small screen again. I can't remember if he was used in Smallville, but it's just awesome to think Metallo's getting used again. I quite like that character, when the Kryptonite heart and all that kind of stuff. I think it's great that he's getting used again. And Cadmus Labs, that's coming up again. That's where Jeremiah might be, Supergirl's adopted father might be there, and it's quite interesting to see where they're going to go with that. And I really like this episode, even though there's a few burning questions like, where's Maxwell Lord? He's not there. He helped kind of save the city last time, and he just disappeared. I hope he turns up again and he just kind of disappears. That's kind of a burning question. Just a bunch of other stuff they could have went over, but I suppose that's what the season will be for, and they'll go over more stuff, and I can't wait to see more of it. So I think I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a quality. I think it was a great opener, and there's more stuff they could have done to make it better, but it was a great opener. Superman's finally there. He's in all his glory, flying around, being badass, just being himself. Tyler Hoechlin did a perfect job. I think he did great. He did the perfect emancipation of Superman. Perfect evaluation. You know, hopeful, happy, kind of sarcastic with his banter, and just being Superman. He did great. I can't wait to see more of this season. Supergirl is back on track, and it seems like they've improved. This is a big improvement. Season 1 took a while to improve, and this has just improved that again. It was a great first episode. So yeah, episode 1 of season 2 of Supergirl gets a quality, and I can't wait for more. So I'm going to leave the review here, guys. So if you like the video, rock out on that like button. Leave a comment down below and tell me your thoughts of Supergirl season 2 episode 1. What you think of Tyler Hoechlin as Superman, if he's better than Henry Cavill's movie version, if he's like the perfect example of what Superman should be, and just for Supergirl in general, what you think the season's going to be like, how do you think things are going to plan out with Lena Luthor, the Luthors, and just a bunch of other stuff, and the guy in the pod, if he is Mon-El, even though he's been confirmed to be, and how you think they're going to figure that out, and just Supergirl in general. Just leave all that down below, and don't forget to subscribe, as it does really help me out, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.